What would you use to hunt them?
So you use a spear.
A spear?
A spear.
You're f***ing with me right now. Are you serious?
For real.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Benny's Big Talk. I'm here with my friend Peter. Hello, Peter.
Hello, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm okay, and I'm so glad to have you on, man. It's great. You came down here. It's what are we, like 1,000 miles away from your home right now?
Yeah,
Something like that.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's great that you come down here. I wanted to talk to you about a couple interesting things about your life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got a great story. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? Tell people about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Peter, and last name is Mgalu. I'm from Tanzania. I was born there and raised there until the age of, I want to say 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I came to the United States of America. I've been here since 2008, roughly 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the military. Prior from the military, I was a police officer for Ackworth Police Department, and here I am.
Oh yeah, here you are, man.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say, if you're okay with talking about it, I want to go back to the beginning and your life in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
And for starters, like how does that compare with your life in the United States now? And in terms of the way your upbringing was, the kind of things you did as a kid, and culturally, say, versus what you experience now in America.
With Tanzania, I would probably say the weather first. The first thing, the weather is really amazing. It's really sunny most of the time,
Mhm.
and for the most part, it's 70 degrees year long.
Oh, that's nice.
So, because we're lined up towards an equator,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a little humid and all that stuff, but it's beautiful spot to be at.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised there in a city called Arusha.
Mm-hmm.
It's surrounded with a couple mountains around the area, and a very famous mountain is called Mount Meru. We grew up where there's like a little bit of national parks surrounding that area. So
Mm-hmm.
there's the Serengetis, Manyara, Mikumi. All those are pretty wildly big national parks that are surrounding.
So they're all right around the town where you grew up in.
They're like a little bit, I want to say like about 50-mile radius.
That's very close.
Yeah, it's very close.
So did you have the opportunity to explore those as a kid?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had so I've been to the Serengetis,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the opportunity to see the biggest migration of the water buffaloes,
Really?
the zebras, and all that stuff.
Wow.
First, the way they usually do it is basically you kind of go in like a tour.
Yeah.
You got these tour guys that put you in a Range Rovers kind of vibes,
Mm-hmm.
and they take you around. They basically show you where they usually drink water in that area,
Mm-hmm.
or where they kind of hang out. And yeah, it's pretty nice to just see the whole habitat of the wildlife in general.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you see any predators like lions?
Oh,
that sort of thing?
absolutely. Yeah. There's so they identify them as a big five. So you got the lions, zebras, hyenas. You got the cheetahs, leopards. Yeah, in that area, it's pretty.
Wow,
Yeah,
you see
it's
all
pretty
those, huh?
nice. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. So how close can you get to the predators?
You can get to sometimes you can get even closer than 50 yards or 50
Wow.
meters. You can get.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, you can get really close.
Huh.
And they'll come around and brush around the the vehicle and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Around. Yeah.
You ever see
It's
them
fun.
making a kill or anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen
Really?
them. Yeah.
Wow.
Deer, and at the same time it's fattening, but it's at the same time it's survival they have to feed.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's brutal, but that's what they have to do, and
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
way life is for many. Like most lives end with like screaming.
Yeah, for sure.
We're
Yeah.
kind of lucky in that sense that we just get to die peacefully,
Yeah.
with our family around us, I guess. But most life ends pretty brutally. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I remember you told me you used to hunt and stuff when you were a kid, right?
Oh yeah.
So what kind of stuff were you hunting?
So when you were a kid, you could hunt them little gazelles every now and then.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you use to hunt them?
So you use a spear.
A spear?
A spear.
You're fucking with me right now. Are you serious?
For real. You
Really?
use a spear, yeah. So there's a tribe known as a Maasai warrior tribe.
Uh-huh.
And pretty much that's what they do. And also like protecting their cattle and all that in that area.
Yeah.
That's what they used to use.
So you throw a spear.
You throw a spear.
Wow. And
Yeah.
have you killed a gazelle with a spear?
Nah, I haven't in the past, but in the past, as far as like the culture part of it, where the Maasai warriors, they used to become an 18-year. Once you become an 18-year-old and to be identified in the culture as a man, you had to kill a lion.
Oh, wow.
Obvious that
A
was in
lion?
the past, but now, yeah,
Jesus.
now they don't do that kind of because
I wonder how many people survive that,
protecting.
man.
Oh,
You know?
yeah,
I
it's-
guess you're not a man if you can't kill a lion.
yeah, man, it was crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what kind of would it be like a metal tipped spear or just
Yeah.
a sharpened wooden stick? Oh, so so
metal
a
tip
proper
spear,
metal tipped
yeah,
spear.
Yeah.
Huh.
Some of them in the past they used to use like the rocks kind of sharpened in a certain angle
Yeah, right.
over sharpening. Yeah.
Huh.
So
So how like what kind of a distance are you aiming at if you're going to throw a spear at an animal?
you gotta have to be in a very close distance. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How accurate can you be with that? Do you think like what's your like range of precision? You know, like say you were like 15 yards away, something like that. That's actually pretty far, honestly.
Yeah.
Like how like you just be a lot closer, right?
Yeah, you got to be really close. And for the most of the interaction that they used to have, it was being like really close, up close.
We're talking about like
an animal.
maybe like
Like
15 feet
50,
or something like
yeah,
that.
Something like that.
So
15 to 20 feet,
how
yeah.
accurate can you be at 15 to 20 feet with a spear? You think?
People can be really accurate, especially if that's something you've been practicing back then.
It's true. I think about that. Like I
yeah.
think about warriors in history, and and you try and do something like that today. You try and throw a rock and hit something accurately. You think, this is impossible. But they trained all day, all the time to be able to
right.
do that. It was an art, you know. So
for sure, yeah.
yeah, and that was you had to do it to survive,
You had to do it to
to feed your
survive.
family, and also to fight in wars. I mean, it's incredible skill, But man, that's crazy.
Yeah, man,
Man.
it is.
Yeah. So let me ask you about Tanzania. Politically, I'm just curious. Like I know that at points, parts of Tanzania were colonized by the Arabs in Oman, by the Germans as well. Like I know the Zanzibar Islands specifically, they were colonized heavily by the Arabs. Do you still, when you were there, did you feel like the effects of colonialism? On the country politically and like with the way and with its economy. I mean, was it difficult for Tanzania to kind of grow out of its colonial kind of roots?
It wasn't a whole lot difficult because I kind of grew up in the city area, so I don't know how their transition really had impact on it. But we still had in Tanzania, we still have a lot of Arabs in that area, who still they're descendants from the past as well. And so as far as like the economy, it has pretty boomed up a little bit more. The people over there, they're very friendly. As far as I could remember, I knew a whole lot of people and a whole lot of people knew a whole lot of, everybody pretty much. As far as the way the culture is, you can pretty much go to your neighbor and get some soul without having.
That's great. I love
that.
that.
It was that close.
You don't in America. It depends on what part of America you're in. I mean, in some places, like you go to New York City or something like that, there is kind of a culture like that in some areas. But also, there's this culture of kind of distrust with people, and people don't want to know their neighbors or hang out with them because I don't know. Maybe it's the media. People are afraid that their neighbor is gonna like be a serial killer or something. I don't know, but they don't want to interact with people that aren't their friends. They don't want to have conversations with people that they don't know. And so it's a very distrusting culture, and we're really weird about it. Compared to, I think most of the world is the other way. I think, but America specifically is kind of weird about that. And I guess I'm kind of weird about it too. Like if I meet people from other cultures and like they like maybe they kiss me on the cheek or something when they meet me, right? I'm just like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Or it comes up and hugs you when I don't know them.
Right.
I'm just like, okay, Like if you talk to some Europeans, they get really close to you when they talk to you. They're like 8 inches away. But like, maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know,
Yeah.
But we've gotten used to that kind of separation, I guess, from people,
Right.
I don't know if it's healthy, but that's just what we do here. But it's definitely very different in a lot of parts of the world. But no, I mean, it sounds like a great culture. And I think that's, that also there are a lot of them are Christians there, right?
So but majority of them are Muslims.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember just growing up there's a lot of mosques and stuff. So you hear the morning
The call to prayer.
call to prayer
from the Wesson.
Correct. Yeah.
Do the Christians and Muslims get along in Tanzania?
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember playing with kids who were Muslims, and then we didn't really judge each other based on their religions and stuff. I
Yeah.
remember the most sport that brought us together was soccer for the most part, and it was the street soccer. So you had spectators too. Had fans who liked to show up and watch you play. Yeah,
Hell yeah, man.
it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Nice.
There's a bunch of other sports too, like in general, like we used to play these games with like marbles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. I don't know. I mean, anything that games are great. Anything you can do to kind of interact with the community is great. It's great when people are out and doing stuff and playing sports and games and communicating and talking. When a community is kind of alive, that's really great.
Right.
Yeah, another thing that we kind of lack these days in America sometimes, everyone's just on their phones, just
Takes away the whole.
Not out there
talking part
living
of-
in the moments, man.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like drinking out of the water hose and shit.
Right.
But, okay, so when did you come to the United States?
So I came to the United States in 2008, I believe. Yeah.
And so how were we able to come here? Like what was the situation that brought you here?
So we came with the program called Lottery. I think it's Lottery. Basically, you've been given this opportunity to be able to compete with other people. They take about, I want to say about 10,000 people as far as the competition part of it. Yeah, and then they will allow maybe 5,000 out of the 10,000 to be able to get the permanent green card.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you were one of those?
Yeah. So my dad was able to do that, and the way the restrictions of how it works, or requirements, is you have to have, if you have kids and wife and your wife, the kids have to be under 18 years old to be able to come with you together. So,
and that was your family's situation?
Yeah. So with my family situation, me and my younger brother at that time were under 18 years old, but I do have two older brothers who were over 18 years old, and they were not able to go.
Oh,
So
really?
they stayed. Yeah.
Oh, are they still in Tanzania?
They're still in Tanzania.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they like it better there. I don't know.
Yeah, they still do like it better. Yeah, we do talk every now and then. They say, they enjoy the life.
Yeah. There's good things about being here, but there's also bad things.
Right.
I mean, you make more money here. Most people make more money here, but it's like, also there's a lot of unnatural things about the way we live our lives here that are a consequence. The food sucks. I mean, you have to drive half an hour to get to the grocery store or do anything,
Correct.
So it's like you make a lot of money here, but then the life you live is sometimes kind of,
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty much like everywhere. There's good and bad. And on. Like, for example, in Tanzania, the food is great. The food is great. The weather is great. But when it comes to like opportunities, there's not a whole wide vastly of opportunities compared to the United States. Education is a little bit ahead over there, but over here education is a little bit advanced too. So there's give and take kind of part of.
Yeah, I guess you just have to choose what your priority is. What's important for you and your family and your life. Where you want to live. I mean, if the priority is entrepreneurship, starting a business, making money, that's the United States is the best place to do that for sure.
Yeah.
But if it comes to the point where you just want to have good natural food, have a nice place to raise a family, I mean, then there's other parts of the world that might be better than the United States, I think.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
But for now, here we are. And when you came here, all right, so you were in the police first, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into that?
So I had a program called Explorers, and pretty much that Explorer program kind of carries you on from high school. And for me, I started, I want to say between sophomore year in high school, and I started that program. By the time I was a senior, I was able to work with Ackworth Police Department. Through the chief waiver, and from there I did about 2 years, and after the 2 years, and I was like, I just want to do something bigger and better ahead of me, so I decided to join the military. It's been 13 years in the military so far.
So how do you think what do you think military life has changed the most about you? What fit with you with the military, with you as a person? Why did you decide to make it a career?
So for me, as far as like my calling, I believe I have a a passion in taking care of people, protecting others, and so the decision of me moving towards law enforcement to the military has changed my life very widely, and I feel like it has created very structural
Yeah.
Foundation for me. The discipline, the organization aspect of it, being able to go to school and also, learn a lot about what's in the military as far as like the equipment, the knowledge in general of what they want you to know.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I've really enjoyed the most.
Getting to shoot big guns.
Guns, get to travel, get to have a good friendship with a lot of new people that you've never, across around the world you've never seen. So it was great. It was a great experience to be in.
Yeah, no, I think so, man. Yeah, 13 years too, huh?
Yeah.
So are you going to retire after, what is it, 20? I think.
So the goal, yeah. So 20 is the retirement. That's my goal, pretty much. Trying to make it through the retirement.
Hey, you're damn close, man.
Yeah,
more than halfway
close.
there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more than half away. Yeah. But it's been a little bit. I've had challenges, up and downs through the military, just kind of like every other job. But for the most part, I would say I have had plenty of fun.
Yeah,
plenty of fun, and then there is also it's time for work, and
that
has
work-life
been
balance.
too. Yeah, for sure.
Which I feel like is, I mean, of course, you went to the National Guard from the Army, right?
Correct.
Right. So, I mean, has your work-life balance been a lot better since you went to the National Guard from the Army?
Yeah. So my work life, as far as what I do right now, working for Department of Defense, that has really opened up a lot of doors as far as to go to school, learning about aviation side, and also learn about automotive and mechanical side. They do a lot to take good care of you when it comes to education.
Yeah.
And really that was my main goal that I wanted to go in the military for. And also to be able to just travel and have this broadening assignment with other soldiers to be able to learn their culture as well. That has been a great impact too.
So where have you been to travel wise when you've been in the service?
So I've been to Kuwait, I've been to Somalia, I've been to Djibouti, those kind of places. I've been to Japan. I've been to Malaysia. So there's a few areas that I've been that has been fun. The only part of it is just it's a short time of places where you travel. You just like a week, 2 weeks,
and you're working while you're there. Probably.
Yeah, you're working. Yeah. They have a little bit of a strict routine,
but you have a little bit of time off, right?
A little bit of time
R&R,
off.
yeah. Okay.
Where you go with your friends together to drink or hang out and have some good food. Yeah.
So you can have a little bit of a cultural experience there. You can get out of the city, and that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's your favorite place you've been to?
Bali was my favorite place.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
to. And
I've heard that's
Fiji.
beautiful.
Fiji.
You went to Fiji?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is the water good?
Oh yeah.
Is it just like it is in the bottles, Tim?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's clear, nice water, and I had a great time.
It looks gorgeous. Wait, so is there a military base on Fiji?
I think there was a military base. I can't remember right now the name of it, but I was there delivering some kind of cargo.
Yeah.
For military purposes.
Top secret.
Top secret. Yeah, it's a little confidential. But
we'll edit this out.
Yeah. So it was a good time. Yeah.
Nice. Huh. So what do you think? What do you think is the thing that's civilians, people outside the military? What do you think people get wrong about the military? What do you think people don't understand about life in the military? Maybe the purpose of the military. Something that people just don't understand about it from a civilian perspective.
I think is what we put ourselves into. There's a lot of risk joining the military, and for the most part, you miss a lot of time with with family, and some people think like you get to travel, that's fun, it's an enjoyment, but there's things that you do miss in the back end as far as like holidays with your family, special moments like special days like Christmas, and birthdays and stuff. So also another thing I remember hearing this back in high school where they said if you're gonna leave the military, if you're gonna leave high school and not go to college and just run towards the military, it made you look like you were not smart.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically,
that was some bullshit. That's something that they try to feed to everyone. They said unless you go to college, you're going to be a loser or something like that.
Right.
Meanwhile, people who got a job in a trade or something like that, or went in the military right out of high school, now they're making 120 grand a year.
Right.
Whereas the people who got college degrees in, liberal arts, whatever they got a degree in, all of a sudden they have no fucking money. They're working, at McDonald's or something. It's
For
like,
sure, yeah.
it was just this lie they taught everyone to feed everyone into that college system so they can,
Correct.
give them these massive loans and then make a bunch of money off them. But,
Yeah.
just learning a skill, learning a trade, finding a purpose is so much more important than just some college can be,
Yeah.
unless you're getting like a good like engineering, medical degree, something like that, but a lot of people are not, so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you get a lot of experience and then a lot of hands-on.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing something that it's towards more of like equipment wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I've been in a unit that does with engineering. So when it comes to like moving dirt here and there, and you do a whole lot of experience.
Army Corps of Engineers, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what I was looking into when I was looking at joining up is to to do it as an engineer, and pursue that path as opposed to just trying to stay out of the combat roles.
For sure.
Just make sure I'm just the guy drawing up the plans and stuff. Not the guy. Like I love shooting guns, but when they start shooting them at me, that's a deal breaker,
story,
man.
yeah.
I'm done with that. Yeah.
Right.
Man. But no, I think it's, and I was really pursuing it for a while. Medically, I couldn't end up doing it, but I think it's a great path. My both of my grandfathers were in the military. My grandfather was in the Air Force. He observed one of the nuclear bomb tests they did, back in the 1950s, and he was and of course, he got cancer later on in life, maybe a coincidence, maybe not, but the guys that were watching those tests, like a really high percentage of them got cancer, like 80, 90% or something like that.
Because of the exposure. And
They thought they could they thought they could clean them up by like washing the ships they were standing on with like soap and water. Wow. So they like scrubbed the ships, but they didn't realize you're not getting rid of radiation by scrubbing it with soap and water, but I don't know. They just didn't know, but those guys, man, but it's so that's the thing. I mean, I think there's incredible opportunities, but to some extent your body belongs to the government, and so they can make you do something that may be a little dangerous, that maybe not something, they tell you what your job is, what you do, so that, but if you can accept that, then you can have a great life, but you'd have to be able to accept the fact that you serve something, but that's a great thing, honestly, to serve something greater than yourself.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that ties into Christianity as well a bit, too. I mean, serving something greater, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It also gives you great structure, too, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for sure. Structure is really what I would say I've gained a whole lot on the military side, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gives you a whole framework for your life, absolutely.
Being able to be disciplined as far as, just waking up in general in the mornings, and
nobody's got discipline anymore, man. Nobody makes their fucking bed anymore, man. I don't make my bed. Do you make your bed?
Oh yeah, I do.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like military has made me a little bit more OCD as far as correcting things and fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed earlier when I came in, I had to fix some of your some stuff a little bit.
I did not notice.
It was a light.
Just like.
Yeah, I just make it straight a little bit. It's like a little bit of a pet peeve when certain things are not in order, or like especially like finances, big stuff like that. It helps you. The military helps you be very accountable on that area. So
yeah, and that's a great thing. Yeah. A lot of people do things just kind of like accidentally, like life just happens to them.
Yeah,
and you can be okay with that, but you're missing out on a lot of the structure that you could have and the potential you have to kind of like maximize your life, I mean, I don't know. I'm OCD about a lot of things too. It used to be like the unhealthy kind, like I had to tie my shoes like 5 times every morning because I was like, oh, I didn't tie it right. So I have to keep tying it again or something. Or if I would see 2 shoes that aren't together, drive me crazy. I have to order all those shoes together, that kind of stuff,
Yeah, I'm like that. So it's
this room must be a nightmare to you right now. So much random shit everywhere.
It's still organized. Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm okay with a little bit of chaos, but I like things that they're there for a reason, you know? And so even if it's a little bit off angle, if it's there for a reason, I'm okay with it. And sometimes you can find a beauty in the chaos, Peter,
That's
sometimes.
for sure. Yeah.
Because, it's a chaotic world. We can't control everything. Sometimes you got to surrender that control, and just accept, serenity prayer, man. Accept the things you can't change.
Yeah.
For
For sure,
That's what
man.
I'm saying, yeah. But thanks for adjusting the lights.
You're welcome.
Yeah. These stands are a little wonky. I don't know. It's a budget podcast, man. What can I say? You know.
It's cool. I like it, man.
Yeah. It's not too bad, right? See, I told you it wouldn't be that awkward.
No.
You're worried about the camera at all?
Oh no. I don't even think it exists.
Forget it's there.
I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, it's just us talking, man. It's good shit,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. But hey, man, all right. You want to go to the pool?
Yeah,
I think this has been a good ass podcast, man.
Yeah, man, this is great, man.
Yeah, Peter.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
It's been a great episode. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. I was glad everyone could meet you and get to know you a little bit, and thank you so much for coming, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right, guys, this has been His Big Talk. I've been here with Peter. Bye, everyone.
Bye.